Okay, I'm back, and today I want to talk about reducing noise in your direct guitar recordings. If you're like me and you're recording direct guitar, you've probably noticed there's lots of noise depending on what you have. Of course, there's, like the standard ways to get rid of it, like get better shielding for your guitar, use humbuckers, maybe even, get away from your monitor, like move back from your monitor. And those things are all work. Also, get better cables. And those are good, but I'm sure you've probably tried those if you're watching this and they're not working for you. So there's other ways to get rid of it. If you haven't tried it already, try moving the angle you're sitting at compared to your computer monitor, etc. So there's usually one angle where you have lots of hum, and if you turn 90 degrees from that angle, you'll usually find there's a reduced hum. And so that will help, but I'm sure you're probably thinking like, I need more than that. So I'll try to help you out with that. So here I have something I recorded quickly. It's just a chord progression. It's using S gear. And you see here, there's tons of gain on here. I'll let you listen to it. And I turned off the noise gate, so there's tons of noise here. So let's take a listen to that. Okay, as you can hear, there's all sorts of noise. There's hums, there's buzzes, there's hisses, all sorts of stuff that you don't want. So let's take a look at how to reduce that. So one thing you can do is, first, I like to take an EQ, or in this case, just a filter, and I take a high-pass filter, and I take out a fair bit. I go up to about 90. You can experiment with this if you want. Some people say, 90 is too much. You shouldn't take out that much. Some people say, go higher, go to 120. I mean, use your ear. If you think like it's taking out too much bass from your sound, obviously just go lower. But the reason you do this is in your sound, like there's hum, and it's low frequency hum, and you want to get out as much of that as possible without really damaging your sound. Here, I'm using M bandpass, but I'll use something different. I'll use M equalizer here. So this one you can actually see it graphically displayed. So I'll just loop this first part here where I'm not playing anything. It's just the pure noise and maybe a few finger noises. So I'll let you listen and watch on this graph. So you can see it's kind of everywhere, but if I take this and let's say I go to 36 decibels per octave and go up to about 97 or so and try it again, at least I reduce this lower part here. So under here it's reduced, and I know that may not seem like much, but usually you don't need to hear this for guitar. So by cutting it out, I'm cutting out this noise. And when this noise goes through S gear or any kind of an amp simulator, it just makes it louder and it creates harmonics. So instead of just being here, you start hearing these sounds here and up here and up here and all throughout your frequency spectrum, which makes your sound terrible. So by cutting that out, that's one thing that will not make a huge difference, but make some difference. And I do that to also help this, which is the main tool, which is going to help you out. It's Acon Digital Denoise. So basically what this is, it learns what the noise sounds like in your track, and then it removes it without damaging your sound too much. So I'll go through it one time. I'll do it over that noise part. You can hear it. So you can already hear that's significantly reduced. But I have it on this adaptive mode. If I turned it to learn from noise only, for example here, actually let me change it to this preset. So it's changed to learn from noise only. This will get a profile of your specific noise. So here we go. Let me turn that up a little bit so it does a little bit more reduction. Seems good. Okay. Stop it. So it wasn't doing any reduction. It was just getting a profile of what the noise looks like. So now if I change it to freeze noise profile, now it's actually going to reduce it. So let's listen to that bit of noise again. So here you can hear it's much softer. I can actually turn it up a little bit more too. Okay, so now you hear it's extremely reduced. I'll turn it off and on so you can hear. So here's on, here's off. And on, off. Okay, that's not subtle. You can hear the big difference. And if you want to know like what's it getting rid of, here at the bottom it says listen to remove signal. So here, that's what it's getting rid of. But you're probably wondering like how much is that damaging your audio? So let's stop it, turn the loop off, and now we're going to play through the whole thing so you can hear what it sounds like. So for me, that's not that much of a difference. I'll go through it. I'll turn the Acon Digital on and off. It'll make a little bit of click, but you can hear what it's actually removing. So here we go. One more time, I'll do it quickly. So it is removing stuff, and if you're really a stickler and you want to hear what it is, use this listen to remove signal while you go through it. So I'll do it this. Okay, so you heard there are some parts you can kind of hear the chord progression, which means it's removing part of your core sound. How much you care about that, I don't know, but I can do it again and I can reduce it so it's not taking out so much of your actual guitar sound. So let's try it and reduce the signal. Okay, listen to that. So there's less artifacts, although to be honest, when it was up higher, I didn't hear that many artifacts. But if you do, that's one thing you can do. You can reduce it. And let's say, for example, you want to reduce it even more without the artifacts. One thing you can do is just like duplicate this. So now I have a second one. I will move this down to 0 like this and use learn from noise and loop this part again. So now I have 2 instances going. Move it up until it finds the noise profile. Okay, so now freeze noise profile. So this is with 2 going. Let's try just 1 and 2. Usually I find instead of pushing 1 really hard to reduce lots of noise, using 2 to reduce noise usually works better with less artifacts. But now let's hear it, the whole track. Okay. It cut off at the end. My computer does that sometimes. So you can't use this in real time, and I probably wouldn't even leave these on here. So what I usually do is take this. I'll turn S gear off. I shouldn't have put it up there. But I almost sounded like a distorted guitar on my voice. Anyway, so I turn this off, and I have just these 3 plugins here. I highlight this, I go to tracks, I hit bounce to tracks. I have this direct guitar, it's just a preset I made, and I take a new track here. And so now at the bottom, this is the same thing. It's a little bit different. I don't know why there's a spike here. Hopefully that's not distorting. I can move it down if I want. I'll just normalize it and just reduce it by, let's say, 1 decibel. So that's not so different. Obviously, going through this is destructive and it's going to change your waveform, but hopefully it's not too much. So here I'll play the original with no reduction. So I'll let you hear that one more time. Okay, so that was the one with no noise reduction, and here's the same thing. I just moved the plugin down. Here it is with the noise reduction. And so as you can hear at the end there are some kind of artifacts at the beginning and the end there. You can use more of this and you can use more reduction and to get rid of more and more of the artifacts, but you might start degrading your sound quality. But in that case, what I would usually do is just clip these off so you can't hear it and just fade it in and fade it out so you don't hear that as much. And also those things that I talked about at the beginning, like for example, using better cables, not making sure you're shielded, moving away from your amp or moving away from your computer. Those are all things so you don't have that much distortion. This example I used here, I used a single coil on my guitar. I sat close to my computer. I didn't change any angles. And so I made it as noisy as possible to really emphasize how this works. But when you're actually recording tracks, try not to make them that noisy. Try to reduce the amount of noise. So the less noise you have, the more effective and more transparent this will be. But hopefully this will help you. And along with this, you can obviously just use a noise gate and that will get rid of that also. So by using all these things, hopefully this will give you some clearer guitar tracks and you won't be, fighting with noise, and hopefully your takes won't be ruined or your songs ruined with noise. So hopefully this will help. And I should say one more thing. Once you're done, if you don't want bumped my microphone. When you're done, if you don't want 2 guitar tracks like this, one thing you can do in your DAW, in Sonar, just hit Shift and pull up here, and it'll ask if you want to blend it or, in this case, replace it. And so that just got rid of, the old track and replaced it with a new one. I'll just delete these and then move that up there. And then I'm ready to mix or do whatever I'm going to do. And so that's how you do it, or how I would do it. One thing to remember is just remember to put these plugins before your amp simulator, not after. And also that Acon Digital Denoise, that one I really like that plugin. It can be used on other things like vocals, or if you're recording something with your video camera and you have noise. It's really good at reducing noise. But there's some other ones like Isotope RX, which I haven't used but is very, very expensive. And there's also M Spectral Dynamics by Melda Productions. I like that one too. I think that and the Acon, as far as how they work at reducing noise, I think they're fairly equal. But the M Spectral Dynamics is much more expensive, but it does other things. So if you want something that will help you compress things and balance your spectrum and reduce noise, go for the M Spectral Dynamics. But if you're just looking for something to just get the hum out of your guitar tracks or get the hum out of any tracks, I would go with Acon Digital Restoration. It's called the Acon Digital Restoration Suite. It comes with denoise, another de-hum module, de-click module, clipping module, a bunch of stuff in there, and it costs around $100, I think. But sometimes you can catch it on sale for a little bit cheaper, so it's fairly affordable, and it's useful. You'll probably find you're using it on almost every track you do, even if it's just to reduce a little bit of noise, because I know even sometimes you think, it's just a little bit of noise, but then when you start compressing tracks and limiting tracks, that noise level comes up. And then if you're using, 5, 6, 7 guitar tracks, it becomes really annoying and you can hear it. So this is a good way to get rid of it. So hopefully that helped. If you have any questions, leave them below. And till next time, see ya.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please remember to thumbs it up, check out some of my other videos below, and don't forget, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.